Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know Carson's like twice in a day. I know. Hello to you both. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Jean. Thanks for being on here. So, welcome, everybody. It's a surprise live. It's a surprise live. We got some information that we want to talk about. And I wanted to bring Cameron on because there's a little stuff that we want to tell you, some cool stuff that's coming up. So, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing, I started getting an ocular migraine, so that's why there's no Zoom lighting on. I took some extra Tylenol. Carson's sending me Reiki, so and I'm squinting just a little bit. I have the blinds open, so it's just a little bit more light, but it's all good. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So hello to Mappo54321. And thanks for being here. Becky, hello. Intuitive, Laura Wusta in the house. Hey, Laura, thanks for being here. I know, sunglasses. I know. I think they're in the car. They're in the car. Anyway, hello, Ella and Maria. We love surprises. I know, surprises are fun. Mandy, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Dorothy Baxter, hello. I've been fighting a headache all day. I think it's the weather. Been raining, kind of weird. Weird weather for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just so odd. So odd. Anyway, we wanted to bring Cameron and I wanted to come on here and chit chat. So I'm just if you don't know who Cameron is, Cameron, tell him what you do while I go over here for a second. Tell him what you
Uh,
do.
Hi. Well, I'm actually a life coach, and an intuitive and an author. And I've done a workshop with Elias now, and we're going to be doing another one. So that's
It's
mostly what we're
good.
going to be talking about.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, we're gonna try this. No, this makes it worse. This makes it worse. I feel like I want to be like, do my impression of Stevie Wonder. So no, I can't do that. But thank you though for the glasses, sunglasses option. Okay, so let's just start. Let's just jump right in. We're gonna jump in, and I'm gonna just give you something that I've been thinking about. So, um, you and I have talked about patterns that people have, like they fall into either it's a fixer or people pleaser, or you've talked about like a protector, which is fascinating to because I talk about perfectionist, fixer, control freak, and people pleaser. You have a couple other ones that you want talk about, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're very to me. They're very connected to like unhealthy attachment styles too, that are formed from your childhood and conditioning, and then just like childhood trauma. Um,
Mhm.
we all have in different ways, and so yeah, there's definitely it can with that like those attachment styles and the fixer the labels of all that. It really just with that unhealed, it really does go into your adult life, and it really does affect all of your relationships really with not having that awareness.
True. You've talked about like when you and I talked, you talked about the performer, the peacemaker, the protector, and the fixer, and we're blending like those pieces with the perfectionist, the control freak, and the people pleaser, and seeing how all that stuff works, which is quite fascinating to me. For those of you who don't know your story, can you share a moment from
Yeah.
own healing journey, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no, yeah, so my healing journey, my biggest like transformation, it started early last year with an awakening, a twin flame awakening actually, and it just like tore me open and really made me to just like it made me like have to look at my old wounds and survival patterns, and it changed how I saw everything actually when I was really, you know, looking into those unhealed parts. And realizing I was surviving for so many years, and I've really done a lot of that inner child healing. And honestly, that's the main reason why I was so drawn to being a coach, was wanting to help people through that with their own inner child healing. And I just have a passion for that. Um, so
You totally do. And I know when we talk about it, you are everyone. She's very passionate about it. What would you say, like, if I tell me what it would be like to do inner child work with you? Like, what would someone, if they came to you, what would it be like for that inner child work? So
well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, sorry, no, you. I know.
Because
Um,
God, see this headache, everybody. It's making me not think clearly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's a lot of ways, approaches, but really, I really like to help my clients find the answers within themselves. But it really starts at looking at, uncomfortable times in your life, and just, um, so I really think right now it's a very important time for people to do this kind of work, because I really feel like a lot of people are realizing how disconnected they are from their true selves right now. And it's really connected to the unhealed inner child, I feel like. And I also think that it's not just personal, it's the collective. It's like the new earth energy right now that's asking people to be more aligned and healed, and, more in their authentic self and truth. So uh, it's really, I feel like, a pull for a lot of people right now to finally do the deep work.
And that's important now because we have so much happening in today's world that I think it is definitely a pull. Definitely a pull. Hi, Ren. Good to see you. Christine. Hello. Angela. Hello. Kylie. Hello. Thank you. Kylie Dream Loans. She's got a question for you. I know who she is. She wants to know, how did it affect you? Look at how she's like going, how did it affect you? How did it make you the performer?
Um, for me, I was a people pleaser. That's really, I wasn't really the performer. So okay, I'm trying to find out how to answer this the right way. It's a lie, people. I'm sorry, it's my second one.
No, don't worry about it. You're doing great.
uh,
You're doing great.
so
So talking from the people pleasing piece, and then
okay.
I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the performer because I'm understanding where she wants to go to, and I think I know where I want to go to with this too. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say too that I believe that these labels are really connected to unhealthy attachment styles that are formed, and I think I said that already, but just it's just like the old conditioning and ways. Say for instance, someone is have felt abandoned in their life, and there's things that can happen. Like for instance, there's the anxious attachment style. Then there's also like the fearful avoidant. Those are two of them, where it's all coming, like, stemming from that unhealed part. And so we take that with us in our adult lives and our relationships, and like every different kind, really. And so that's my answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and no, don't be sorry. I think, for hi Gloria. So let me see, Kylie, if I'm gonna address this. So for people pleaser and performer go hand in hand a lot. So a people pleaser will always feel the need to make somebody feel better, and then also people pleasing, like for me, um, being in theater was performing, being on stage. You sing. So we're giving of ourselves to trying to make someone feel better through what we're doing. So I have to do my juggling act to make you laugh. Um, I have to make jokes to make you laugh. The old me would have been like, I'm going to say this so you'll like me, so you'll feel good. Because when I was younger, my inner child, even though I was loved so much, um, I never felt like I belonged. which is that stems from the years of not feeling good enough. Even though my parents loved me, there was always that piece of, oh, good people do this. Good people should be doing that. Good people, it was always like always looking at what people would think. So the judgment was there. So if I was perfect, if I was helping other people, if I was, performing, being like on stage and being vibrant and exuberant, um, people would like me for being that person. And that's a performance. Kylie says, I feel like I did the people pleasing, but I became the performer because I felt the need to perform and put on a show to get people to stay. See exactly what we're talking about. But you are also hypersensitive to those around you, which can be a gift, blessing, and a curse. Very true. Very true. I have to tell everybody. I'm sure she's okay with me sharing this because we've talked about it anyway. My friend Elle had hip surgery, and that went okay. She's a breast cancer survivor, cervical cancer survivor, and she needs her other hip replaced. Well, one day before she got here to visit, we're at John's ex-wife's house talking about graduation party for Victor, and we're there, and out of nowhere, I got a huge sciatic pain from my hip all the way down to my ankle. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, I can't sit. This is driving me crazy. And we had to leave. And my friend came the next day, and I said, question for you. Does your hip bother you a lot? She goes, oh, yeah, I had a really bad pain yesterday. I go, what time was that around? Maybe 7? She goes, exactly 7 o'clock. I'm like, so empathically, I felt that. And that's the hypersensitivity piece. It's just great. I don't know if any of you have ever had that, or Cameron, I don't know if you, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. It's happening a lot right now.
yeah,
So
I was going to say it's happening a lot for you.
specific people especially, but it really comes down to, like, I mean, you kind of go into your authentic self too and do some of the healing. Like, you're more highly sensitive, I feel like, to other people's things. So
True. So true. So here's the thing. Cameron and I are doing a workshop coming up, and we're going to talk about the mirror within. So, in your opinion, what can people expect when they attend?
I feel like it's really reconnecting people to their younger self, and the one that had to survive, really. And let's see here. Basically, like, the goal is reconnecting, not fixing. And
Right.
that's really what I hope people get from it in the long. It's not just about like the information, it's like the understanding, the self-love piece. And there's so many people. I mean, I was one of them over a year, just like after last year, who really just was very self-aware, not like for any other reason really than just like the masks that we wear,
Right.
and trying to play that role, or not trying to, but playing that role subconsciously, of the people pleaser, for instance, which I used to be. And it's really meeting your inner child and also having the compassion and stuff. And it's surprising to me how many people that I've worked with too who really discover that self-love, because they're also able, besides like going through the layers of unhealed stuff, they're able to see their inner child themselves. Like, and one thing I have done, and what I suggest to some of my clients is, affirmations is big, but actually a picture of yourself visually, especially for a visual person, of you as a child that resonates on your mirror. And
Mhm.
that child. And I mean, for me, it has done wonders. I actually still have a picture on my mirror in my bathroom that I look at sometimes, and when I'm feeling like I'm not doing things right or self-critical. And one thing I noticed with that work, doing that work, is that inner critic is just like it silences, so much more. Um, so that's why affirmations are really important too.
I think, we all have that piece that if we were to go back, adult self, and talk to that younger self, we would have so many things to say. And that's going to be an exercise that we're going to do in this workshop. Um, Carson says, being a physical empath is so fun. It is. Jenny says, me and Mandy almost always have the same symptoms. I know. And Mandy says, for real. It's fascinating to me because when I think what we've done as kids is there's ways that we've protected, and there's ways that we've kept ourselves protected and safe, but that inner child work really allows us to say we're okay. It was okay to do this. It was okay to go into this part of understanding self and shift it a little bit.
Hmm.
So what we want to do, and I'm going to pull this up, guys, really quick. There's this. So here's a question that we're both going to ask you guys. What if your parents, good job, Elias. What if your there you go, guys. That's what I want to say. What if your patterns aren't flaws, but reflection of a child trying to stay safe again? So think about it, everybody. We go into these patterns and we'll identify each of the pattern. Cameron and I have a great exercise for that. We'll go into each pattern and we're going to talk about how we connect to that piece, whether we do or not, truly, but to learn about the healing and giving ourselves permission to heal. I think that is very, very important because we're going to explore about survival patterns that you have now, right? And then the inner child behind them. So the experience that you will get to reconnect with that younger part of yourself, and we're going to help you, if you choose, this is a choice, to rewrite your story with compassion and clarity. I think that's really important. Wouldn't you say, Cameron?
I do. And know, part of this journey too with some of that inner child, work is accepting yourself like flaws and all, and loving yourself through that. And, things that maybe, I mean, and some things maybe about, parts of your life where you actually do want to improve. I mean, there's always, it's always good to, try to become more of your best self, but it's, we all have flaws, and it's about accepting that, and that we all have them. And so it's uncomfortable work sometimes in general to dive into this, but
Right.
um it works.
It does work. And I want to quickly say hello to Lynn Truck and Diane Ray. Good to see you. And Christine, hello. Stephanie Sturby, what are you doing? Animal communicator lady, come on in and say hello. And thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate it. So this workshop, let me put it back up so you guys can see. This workshop is Friday, June 6th. It is at 5 p.m. Pacific. That's 8 o'clock Eastern. And the cost is $17. You can go to eliaspatras.com and click and sign up there. And thank you. Mandy has it right here. So you can go right to it. And that's how you're going to click to it. And the Juan D. Garcia Ramirez. Hi, I love you, Carmen. That's awesome. That's awesome. This is your buddy. Your buddy is here. That's very cool. Very cool. Let me remove this and go there. There we go. Um, and Selena, hello. How long do you expect the workshop to be? Will the material be available afterwards? So if you sign up for it, you can get the replay if you're not able to make it that day. So that's actually great. Hi, Ellen Jane. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, the piece here is to learn about really, truly, we're going to help you really rewrite your story. And that's because how many of you, just tell us in the comments, how many of you have told yourself the same thing over and over and over again? I mean, I know I have. I know I have said stuff. You and I have talked, and we both have said stuff that we're like, I wish we could have done this. Well, instead of the shoulda, coulda, woulda, this is a perfect time to go ahead and rewrite that. And hello, I switched over from Instagram. Well, thank you for coming over here. We appreciate that. Yeah, Juan's raising his hand right there with you. And here's the thing, guys, as I'm just going to say this, but I had many stories I had to tell myself, e- especially when I didn't come out. When I didn't come out of the closet, I was like telling myself all these different stories. And that inner child of not being accepted was, screaming, like, don't do it, don't do it. And those are hard things. I'm going to ask you a personal question, if I may. And I know we didn't talk about this, but I'm going to ask you this personal question. Would you say, if you're comfortable answering, I don't want to put you on the spot, would you say that these things after your mom passed came up even more so?
Oh yeah, I mean that my mother passed 3 years ago plus, and I actually just wrote a chapter in the upcoming book about this part. The fact that when she did pass and during her sickness, I really didn't have the healthy tools that I have now, and my nervous system was not regulated at all. It gives me anxiety a little bit when I think back on that time period, but uh, yes, it started a lot of it. My healing journey, where I'm at now, really started at the beginning of last year, and I'm forever grateful for that. It tore me open and made me look at myself and every single part. Um, but sorry, I'm going on and on. What the
No,
question?
you don't have to go. It's all good. We're live. It's
I know I
people
would.
know that we go on. Well, they know that I go on and on. So, just come join the club. Come join the Go On and On club. It's fine. It's totally good.
One thing I really wanted to say too is that one thing I've discovered with all this in this journey and like inner child stuff and attachment styles is so older generations. I mean, I'm a millennial, an older millennial, and I mean, it doesn't really matter generation, except for the older generations were told that they were weak to do therapy or anything. So it was a lot of masks and a lot of you're okay, you're strong enough. And that's something I have a huge compassion for those people. I have a lot of compassion because it's never too late to start that journey. Never. It doesn't matter what age you are. And that's why I hope to hope people can understand that at different ages. Um, yeah.
It's important. I mean, and shameless plug, shameless but real plug here, guys. Is that's why we're going to be doing a retreat as well on people pleasing, control freak, perfectionist, and fixer, because those ancestral patterns really need to be broken. And that is a course that I'm finishing on ancestral patterning. And we're going to actually, on the retreat, we're going to rewrite the story like we're going to do in this workshop, but we're also going to cut the old patterns of a ancestral blueprint. And that is, it's something that is important, and the journey that happens. Well, you've been on the retreat, so you know how that goes. It's 3 days of doing it, so it's a need. And I think your coaching, the way that you talk about the inner child and finding those pieces, I know that you have talked to one of my friends, and she loved the session with you. thought it was just really, you brought up some really great points to look at in the very first session. So I think that's, it's really, really great. Mandy says, I was not allowed to cry. I was told if I wanted to cry, then I would get something to cry about. You know, and what about now, Mandy? Do you allow that inner child to cry? Do you allow that shift to happen? That's important. That's really important. Um, and I think we don't do that. We don't do that. Does anybody have any questions for Cameron or myself regarding this workshop that we're doing? Let me pop it up
Can
back.
you hear how loud the rain is right now? It's pouring
I
in.
can hear,
I'm
and
hearing.
I'm like probably less than 20 minutes away from you, and there's no rain here.
Yeah.
No rain here. Jenny says we cry all the time. That's great. Mandy says yes. Okay. Um, and hello, Mo Cosmo. Thank you for being here. Um, Angela said, I was told no therapy, yet I spent 5 years in therapy. Wow, Angela. Wow. And that's a funny thing because, you know, we took what we were told as golden rules. Wouldn't you say, Cameron? Like
Yeah,
those,
those conditioning patterns. Yeah.
yeah. And that pattern, that's why Cameron does affirmations, because that switches that pattern. We need to switch that. Uh, the neurons in our brains always go, like, for example, when it rains, it will always rain the same way down a mountain. It's kind of how like our pattern is in our brain. We're taught that this is how it goes. And what we want to do is we want to change that. And that's why we're doing this healing work, everybody. Really, really important. Really important. Um, wow, Angela, I'm glad you chose the healing opportunities. Exactly. Exactly. Um, so I'm going to take this off right here. And guys, I apologize. I am um I did not want to not be on here today because I was committed to being to a surprise live, and Cameron's like, we could do it later. I'm like, no, we're good. We're good. But if you have questions, how could they get a hold of you, Cameron?
So I can't really pull up right now.
Well, I can type it for you. Go ahead.
So I guess, well, maybe my website would be good, probably.
Yeah. Go ahead and
But
tell them what it is.
that's all my contact information. And you can also, through my website or Linktree on my social media, you can book a free consult with me, a 15-minute consult. So if you have any questions that way, we can do that. But I'm also happy to answer any questions via email or text. So.
And tell them your website.
It's the word 10, TEN, the number 10, coachingwithcameron.com.
And there you go. Ba-ding, bada-bing, bada-bing. There you have it. Right there. See? There you go, everybody. Jenny says, I never cried in front of anyone when I was younger because I felt it was a weakness. That taught me to control that part of my emotions. Then as time went on, I just didn't cry unless it was super impactful situation. So to give yourself the permission to cry and know that vulnerability is a strength and not a weakness. So
Yeah. And it's not always comfortable, those layers that you peel back, but it's so worth it. That's one thing I want to tell people, is that don't expect it to be, easy, but easy is not always best.
right. So true. Very, very true. Well, guys, we wanted to keep this a little shorter. Usually we're chit chatty. But contact Cameron. You can contact me as well. I'll put the flyer up one more time. You go to eliaspatris.com under events, you'll see it. Mandy went ahead. If you want to go directly to the information, it's right there. So you would go events / the hyphen mirror hyphen within hyphen workshop / or you can just go to eliaspatris.com under events and look at all the events that we have. Look at all the events we have. So everyone on Instagram, thank you so much. And thank you, Cameron, for being on here. I know it was a surprise live. I know it's just kind of
Thank
like,
you for having me again.
oh, Anytime, you're always welcome. Well, we'll have to do this again when I'm feeling better. And let me just do this. Oops, there we go. And yeah, everyone remember, we are here to talk. See, I can't even remember my own phrasing anymore.
You're doing
We are,
good.
we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. From our hearts to yours, be well, everybody. Take care of yourself. Remember, honor that inner child, love that inner child, and trust your intuition. We'll talk to you soon. Be well, everybody. Thanks for watching.